Okay, let's dive into one of the most common and, let's be honest, most awkward social moments. Forgetting someone's name literally seconds after you hear it. We're going to break down exactly why this happens.
You know the feeling, right? You're shaking hands, they say, "Hi, I'm Sarah," you say your name, and then, poof, it's just gone. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. And the reason why is probably not what you think.
See, forgetting names isn't a sign that your memory is broken. It's actually a totally predictable and kind of fascinating feature of how your brain is wired to work. So let's start with that feeling itself, that little jolt of panic when you realize the name is completely vanished. It's something we've all been through, but why does it feel so uniquely terrible?
It feels so bad because we immediately think it's a personal failure. We worry that we look disrespectful or like we weren't paying attention at all. It can even spin into real social anxiety, making us think, "Ugh, what's wrong with me?" But the real story has way more to do with your brain's mechanics than your social skills.
So if it's not you, what's the real culprit here? Well, it's your brain's super efficient but sometimes socially clumsy operating system. It's basically running on autopilot. Okay, so here's what's going on inside your head. Your brain is a ruthless filtering machine. It's constantly hunting for information that has some kind of meaning or emotional connection. A new name? To your brain, it's often just an arbitrary label, a random piece of data with nothing to stick to. It's like trying to hang your jacket on a smooth, flat wall. There's just no hook.
And this is a big one. While someone is telling you their name, where is your mind really? A lot of the time, you're thinking about what you're going to say next or hoping you're making a good impression. Your attention is split, and that leads to what psychologists call shallow encoding. The name never really gets stored properly because, well, you weren't truly listening to it in the first place.
And then you pile on other factors. You've got social stress, which pumps your brain full of hormones that mess with memory. You've got cognitive overload. We meet way more people now than our ancestors ever did. It's really no wonder that our brains often decide that the ideas in the conversation are way more important to hang on to than the random labels we call people. Now, this brings us to a super interesting question. How can you remember a face you saw once, like 5 years ago, but not the name you heard 30 seconds ago? It all comes down to two different types of memory: recognition and recall. Recognizing a face is visual, it's fast, it's practically automatic. Your brain has special areas just for that. But recalling a name, that's an abstract, slower, much more effortful task. Your brain doesn't have a name center. You have to build that connection from absolute scratch.
Okay, and this leads us to a famous psychological puzzle that just perfectly explains the problem. Seriously, think about this for a second. Why would it be easier to remember that someone's job is a baker than to remember that their last name is Baker?
The answer is all about connections. The word baker, the profession, instantly lights up a whole web of ideas and images in your mind. You think of bread, ovens, a big white hat, the smell of fresh pastry. But the name baker, it's just a word. It's floating out there all by itself. The profession gives your brain tons of strong hooks to grab onto. The name has one super weak one.
And yeah, there's a name for this. It's called the Baker-Baker paradox. It's this beautiful proof that our memory doesn't just store random facts. It thrives on a rich web of connections. Information with meaning is just fundamentally easier for our brains to lock down.
So, the good news is, now that we know our brain's wiring is the problem, we can actually use that knowledge to our advantage. We can work with our brain, not against it, using a few simple, science-backed tricks to finally start remembering names.
These 3 steps are dead simple, but they directly hack the problem. First, just repeat the name. Say, "Nice to meet you, Sarah." That simple act forces your brain to actually process it. Second, connect it. Make a memorable, even silly visual. If his name is Bill, picture his face on a dollar bill. You're giving that random name a hook. And finally, and this is the hardest one, just focus. For 3 seconds, make listening your only job. That's it. Tune out everything else.
All right, so after all of that, what's the big picture here? What's the one thing you should really walk away with?
It really boils down to this quote: "Forgetting names is a natural human experience. It is simply one small reflection of how memory works. It's not a flaw in your character, it's just a feature of your brain." So maybe the most important first step is just to give yourself a break.
Honestly, the best thing you can do when you forget is just be humble and ask again. A simple, "I'm so sorry I've blanked on your name," is almost always met with total understanding. Why? Because the person you're talking to has been in that exact same spot 100 times. It creates a moment of connection, not offense.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big idea to think about. We put all this pressure on ourselves to have perfect recall of this one little label. But maybe, just maybe, real connection isn't about data retrieval. Maybe it's just about being fully present with someone, even for a few seconds. In the end, what really matters more? Remembering the name or making the person feel truly heard?